Welcome everyone to the Rivals Racing League's broadcast of the RRL Offline Championship Season 1. Bringing you today's broadcast from Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Folds of Honor 100. We have 67 laps here ahead of the field for today's race at Atlanta. David Rudiman, one of the championship contenders, is on the pole for today's race, and alongside him is Matt Kenseth. And I have two friends in the commentary booth with me today. We have LT as well as RC.
What it do?
Introduce yourselves, guys.
What it do?
What up?
And we'll be
Well,
going through the starting lineup here today after the command to fire engines. We're about to get the command, and then we'll go ahead and give you the lineup, and we'll get this race underway.
Drivers, start your engines!
So as I said before, David Rudiman starts on pole for today's race, and Matt Kenseth will be on his outside. LT, you gonna do the LT?
I'm gonna. Okay, and row two, we have Regan Smith and Kurt Busch. I almost did it again for like the third week in a row.
Row number 3, we got the 32 Terry Labonte, and who's outside the 39 Ryan Newman.
Trevor Bain, the points leader, starts in 7th place, and alongside him will be Jeff Burton.
Didn't roll and roll.
It's 5, I think.
Why is half of the field not caught up to the pace car? By the way,
I'm not sure. Hopefully they'll get up there. Jeff Gordon
My
and
computer's just
AJ
froze.
Allmendinger were the drivers in. Yeah, the outside lane seems to have some problems here.
Problems.
Hey, let me see.
Help.
Okay, they're catching up.
Problems.
It seems to me
my
that there
first
might have been a
vacancy.
problem with the 99 of Carl Edwards. There is. Carl Edwards is not in his line,
RC?
and something is wrong with Carl Edwards. He's having problems.
I think we've got problems.
Problems up
All
here.
right.
The commentary booth.
All right. Well,
We
so.
got problems.
Someone brought their.
Not good.
All right. Well, I'll just let the
Great way to start.
Oh my God.
Here's the rest of the lineup here as we're about to go green.
You're
67
lagging
laps.
in and out, fam.
Uh-oh, that's not good. 67 laps here
It's
today in
so
Atlanta.
pixelated.
Here we go.
Boogie, boogie, boogity! Let's go racing at a random location on the earth. 500.
Hampton, Georgia.
Oh. Well, no one cares about continents. I was bad at geography.
All right, well, down off into turn 1, we have a battle for the lead. David Rudiman trying to take the spot away from Matt Kenseth, but Kenseth's going to power by on the outside there.
Sail it away. Don't mind the noises in the background. We got a couple of hostages up here in the booth, but that's okay.
All right,
Got
well,
Kirk to the outside of the 00, going for second. He comes up to the back of the 17. Matt Kenseth going to lead lap number 1 here at Atlanta.
yeah, he pulled that move off from the outside lane, so that's a good thing to note. The top groove is pretty strong here early in Atlanta, but Rudiman now fighting back, trying to take back the lead from the 17. Just want to make a mention, Regan Smith, who has had many close calls and disappointing races so far this season, starting in the top 5. We'll see how long he can stay up here, as Kenseth will continue to lead the field around. Ryan Newman looking 3 wide there on Kurt Busch and David Rudiman, but he can't quite make that pass work just yet.
See last week's winner, Michael Waltrip, a little farther back in the field.
Yeah, he is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, we seem pretty strong. Regan Smith is on the on the bottom line, making ground after last couple of weeks. He is just not had the performance to be at the end. Like he's always dominant early on, but in the end he can never get it done. So can he get it done today at Atlanta?
We'll have to see. But this is going to be an intense race as we're seeing almost a super speedway style pack race happening. I know it's early in the race, but for a track like Atlanta, it's strange to see. We have 2 rows going all the way through the field with only 1 car. That is Matt Kenseth really able to break away. But even then, we have some battling as Rudiman and Kurt Busch trying to get alongside him. Oh, man, Matt Kenseth gets slow to the corner, and Kurt Busch going to drive right around the outside lane of Matt Kenseth, and he'll clear him as they head off into 1. Power move.
He's able to use the momentum off the outside wall to just clear Kenseth, and now Kenseth side by side with Ryan Newman on his outside, going down the back straightaway.
It's interesting to see how the outside lane seems to be the preferred line at this point, at least when you're trying to make a pass on somebody. I wonder if that's going to change as tires wear. Now here comes Newman.
Hello, Newman, taking the lead.
3 wide there for a second as Matt Kenseth trying to pass Kurt Busch once again. See Rudiman's still unable to get by any of these drivers. He continues to fall back from the pole.
Just want to make mention Terry Labonte is in the top 10 right now. What a good run out of the
They're
veteran.
going 3 wide back there in the back, like it's a pack race. That's a little concern. They're gonna have a big
Keselowski, and I
gap.
think maybe Jimmy Johnson or Jeff Gordon, one of them.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon, Robbie Gordon. Oh, Joey Logano
Conway.
way up off the bottom there. Having a little bit of trouble. This is a tight battle back here. Well, they all seem to be able to hold on to it so far. Let's go on board Mark Martin as he's right in the thick of this. So you can see just ahead of him, Matt Kenseth and Ryan Newman side by side for the lead. And look at this intense racing throughout the pack here. So we look back up front, Matt Kenseth still going after Ryan Newman and unable to make the pass though. So they're side by side heading off into one. And as the tires wear, it seems like the front group has started to pull away just a bit from the rest of the field. As Rudiman, Kurt Busch, and the rest of the pack continue to battle for third on back. So we still have a very long way to go in this race. And one interesting factor that I think will come to play, especially if we go green all the way to the end of this race, is fuel mileage. I believe that with these drivers not having any cautions, like if they were to just run all the way to the end, or even just getting one caution relatively early in the race, the pit window is about 60 to 64 laps. So it'll be interesting to see with such a long race if anyone tries to save enough gas to make it all the way to the end.
You're wide back there between, looks like Biffle, Conway, maybe, and 36.
Yes, the 87 of Joe Nemechek getting a little squirrely up there in the middle groove with Jeff Gordon trying to take it 3 wide.
And Terry Labonte as well, just ahead of him.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of 3 wide battles. There's Terry Labonte, Brad Keselowski, and I mean, this is just right outside the top 5 that we're having these 3 wide battles. As now Kenseth knows it out in front of Ryan Newman, but these two have fallen back to the pack here. They are unable to break away.
Yeah, the pack is right on them. And excuse what's going on in the background, but the pack is right on them, man. They are closing in. A guy that's seen up there that he is lurking back there. He's not up there yet, but if he puts it together, he can be there in the end.
These guys try and force a 4 wide where there's not room. There's going to be a huge crash, considering how close they are.
Yeah, this pack is extremely tight together. There's Mark Martin back there in the 5 making some power moves down there on the inside lane.
That's the first big power move I think we've seen on the inside all day. Besides, I guess Kenseth kind of taking back the lead here. Looks like he's going to clear Newman.
Yeah, but how long will that last? As it seems like the top lane is definitely the place to be, at least in 3 and 4. Kenseth's going to hang on and lead this lap.
You know what? Another name I see up here that we haven't seen all season, AJ Allmendinger. He's at the bottom of the points right now. And now AJ Allmendinger is running up here pretty well.
Yeah, Allmendinger's had an absolutely terrible season. I know it's still very early in the race, but even just to run right around the top 10 for Allmendinger will be a huge step up from how the performance has been so far this season for this 43 team.
Yeah, he was the one that blew a motor before the Daytona 100 or 125 even started.
Yeah, he didn't even get to make a start at the beginning. He didn't get to make it to the first green flag race of the season. He's had poor runs this whole rest of the year. I mean, it's been bad for that 43 team. So it's nice to see them up here battling to try to get into the top 5.
Yeah, very nice to see him up here.
Oh, now here comes the 39 of Newman back, trying to make a move on the outside of Kenseth. As now Matt's going to have to worry about the 00, working on passing him as well. I don't know if you follows
him up.
Oh, sorry.
Drew follows up the track a little bit. And he's not going to make a 3-wide move. At least for the lead, it seems a little bit risky with how early it is in the race.
I don't know if you two have noticed, but it seems like the longer we go into this race, which, by the way, I also will mention, the times have fallen off about 0.8 of a second so far from what we were running just 15 laps ago. But it seems like, to me at least, the bottom lane continues to get better and better as the run goes on. As I say that, Kurt Busch power move around the third groove, as now he's going to look for the lead. Is that the second time he's done that this race? A big power move off the final corner and made a move around the outside. We'll see if Kenseth can hold him off down here in 1 and 2.
Back there fighting for 5th is the 36. I believe that's Dave Blaney, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen him up near the top 5 so far this race. Great run for the 36. So we continue to see really the same faces inside the top 5 so far, but I wonder how much these drivers up front are saving tires, because it doesn't look like many of these drivers in the top 10 are. Specifically,
Almost
Matt
looks like they're
Kenseth,
trying
Kurt
to
Busch.
tandem draft.
Yeah, Burton was pushing the 22 down the straightaway there, and he's pushing him down the backstretch, it looks like, as well. We'll see if that maneuver is going to work off as Kurt Busch is going to work out for them here. Kurt Busch trying to clear Kenseth around the outside. I think he's going to do it. Well, yeah, he does. Kurt Busch back to the top.
New leader, 22 cars out in front.
Newman looking 3 wide as they head off into turn 1. Just can't quite get there as Matt Kenseth blocks the bottom.
David Rudiman had gotten to the back of the 31 and may have been able to clear him.
This is going to be interesting. I know we're only we're coming around to be 18 laps into a 67-lap race. So we have quite a long ways to go. But it doesn't really seem like many of these drivers up front are saving tires. And I was talking earlier about trying to save gas. These guys are only going to be about 3 to 5 laps short on fuel. So you can't tell me someone isn't going to try to save all the way. But another big factor is saving tires. Whether you're trying to make it to the end of the race or not, Atlanta is a very, very abrasive racetrack. And saving tires could be a big move for some of these drivers as we see this, especially if, as the run goes on, the pack starts to spread out more than it already has. We could see some of these drivers who have saved tires starting to make a march to the front.
Back there, looks like Logano got forced 3 wide with McMurray and Keselowski. He settles back in the middle lane, now 3 wide with Harvick and Biffle.
Speaking of Kevin Harvick, he has just not had a good season at all. Another driver like AJ Allmendinger there in the 43, who has just had an absolutely abysmal season. He got T-boned at Daytona, and then really just hasn't had many good runs besides Auto Club. But even then, had a pit cycle that threw him off strategy. Tough break so far for the 29.
3 wide up for the lead. Ryan Newman to the inside.
Yeah, Kurt Busch still powered off the outside lane, got the run, and drove away. But Matt Kenseth and Ryan Newman are not going anywhere. Newman noses ahead down the backstretch. Kurt Busch with the run off the outside.
I'd say a trend I've noticed is that if you're on the outside lane, you seem to fall back a lot quicker, while if you're on the inside, you'll stay near the front a bit longer.
Yeah, it definitely seems like, I wouldn't call this a conveyor belt race, as we are seeing multiple lines forming with drivers passing each other using really the entire racetrack. There isn't really one dominant line. But I do agree in the fact that the guys that are on the outside lane just definitely aren't able to hold their position. And I think a lot of that comes down to, if you're on the bottom, most of the time we're seeing there aren't really many drivers that are clear on the inside lane. So it seems like it's much easier to pull the inside of someone who's already in the middle or top groove than to try to go to the outside of someone who's on the bottom.
Look who's pushing the 5 Mark Martin. That's the 87 and Joe Nemechek.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen him up front all race. He's making a charge to try to get up front to the race lead. We'll see how that pans out as the race goes on. Ryan Newman continues to lead the field here at Atlanta, with Kurt Busch running right behind him, Matt Kenseth and David Rudiman still up front. We've really seen the same 4 drivers battling for the top 4 positions. Jeff Burton, Mark Martin, Dave Blaney have just kind of been lurking, as well as Regan Smith and AJ Allmendinger, but they haven't really been able to crack that top 4.
Martin tried forcing a 3 wide. He's
Alright.
finally going to get there, but Joe Nemechek almost passed him.
Yeah, Mark Martin, another power move. It seems like the 5 is able to really make moves on the bottom, unlike anyone else in this race. As now he's looking to take 3rd place away from Kenseth, and maybe even 2nd from Kurt Busch. 5 car Mark Martin is on rails. Now Burton going 3 wide in the middle. Mark Martin still trying to get 2nd place as Ryan Newman continues to pull away from the pack. Martin almost cleared Kurt Busch. Now Rudiman's falling back quite a bit here. Just doesn't seem to quite have the car that he had at the start of the race. As Newman is trying to hold off Mark Martin for the race lead. Still have 42 laps to go. A long way left here in Atlanta. But Mark Martin trying to get to the top spot. While I feel that it's a bit early in the season to be making championship predictions or really even talking about it all that much, as really one good race's worth of points can turn your entire season around this early. But I will make a mention that that Mark Martin is one of the top 5 drivers in the points right now. So if he were to win or even just get a top 5 today, this would give him an opportunity to pull away from the rest of the drivers up front in the points, such as
And our
Martin
points
Truex
leader,
Jr.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Trevor Bayne.
Trevor Bayne's fallen back through the field quite a ways. Our points leader, not having a very good day so far.
And now finally Mark Martin looking to the outside of Ryan Newman, trying to make the pass. As it seems like the further we go, the same 4 that we've seen up front all race are starting to fall back. Burton has now gotten around Kurt Busch. Nemechek's gotten around Kenseth and Rudiman. And now Harvick has come to play in the top 10. Now Burton up into 2nd place looking for the race lead. I believe, did I just see 4 wide back there with a 32?
That was 3 wide with the 24 and 88. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah,
There
so it
are 3
seems
wide
like
with Steven Wallace and Labonte and Boyer.
Yeah, it seems like we have 3 major packs forming here. We've got the pack in the rear, which houses the points leader Trevor Bayne, as well as a bunch of other drivers such as David Gillen,
Vickers, Kane, Menard,
Stewart.
Ambrose, Stewart, and Waltrip, last week's winner.
Yeah, Michael Waltrip, and I think he's in last place here. Not a very good run for him. Oh, well, never mind. Carl Edwards is in last place, and he is not having a good
We
day.
got some issues under the hood there.
Yeah, he's having issues on the start. Don't even think, is he on the lead lap? No, he's not. He is 3 laps down currently, and it doesn't, with the amount of green flag laps that we're running here, doesn't look like Edwards is going to have any chance getting back on the lead lap here today. But now side by side for the lead. Martin tried to take it from Newman, couldn't quite do it, so now Burton's having a crack at it. Kenseth now looking to move back up as he's already gotten back around the 22 and 87. Now he's looking to pass Martin for 3rd as they're still side by side for the lead here.
Three wide back there. I think Rudiman, Blaney, and Harvick. Like about the 10th spot, I'd say.
Yep, just inside the top 10 we have this battle going on. Rudiman is just falling. I wouldn't say he's falling like a rock. We're almost halfway through the race and he's still inside the top 10, but Rudiman went from on the pole, lost the lead lap 1, and it's just never really... I haven't seen Rudiman gain a spot this race, I'll put it that way. He's been able to hold serve relatively well, but I haven't seen him actually advance his position so far today. It's now a battle for the lead once again, heating up between the 39 and 31. Oh, Kurt Busch almost in the wall off the corner. as he's trying to get around Mark Martin. Kenseth back into third place, so 17th starting to move back up, and there it is. Ryan Newman has finally been passed for the lead. Jeff Burton cleared him down the front straightaway, and Burton is cleared to the lead here in Atlanta for the first time today. Now Newman about to lose second place to the 17. We'll see Burton's got quite a big gap on the rest of the field. We'll see if he's able to hold on to that gap as we are just about halfway through this race, 34 laps to go here at Atlanta.
It's like Nemechek tried to peek to the inside of Kurt Busch, not going to make it work this time.
Yeah, Nemechek seems like the drivers who started just outside the top 15 maybe, such as Nemechek, Harvick, and Martin, are really eager to continue to make power moves in the bottom. We saw Mark Martin take it 3 wide multiple times entering turn 1. See Nemechek take it 3 wide a couple times, as well as Kevin Harvick. So these drivers are eager to get to the front. Jeff Burton continues to lead, and I think he's extending his gap over the rest of the field. Oh, by the way, remember when I mentioned that the same 4 who were up front all race started falling back? Yeah, well, now they're second, third, and fourth, so scratch what I said. Other than Rudiman, the other 3 really are still up front and contending for this win. But Burton is just driving away. I'm imagining he must be using his tires up more than the rest of the field. Either that or the rest of the field already used up the majority of their tires. As you can see, there's like 5 to 6 car length gap between race leader and Ryan Newman, as Newman had Matt Kenseth up on his bumper, got a little bit loose. Now the 17 going to go to second place and try to run down the 31. That is if Kenseth can clear Ryan Newman. Did I just see 3 wide? Might have selected the wrong driver there. But if we look further back in the field, we still have multiple packs formed up here.
I have 4.
Yeah, and David Rudiman has officially fallen to the rear of the lead pack. He's now just about falling outside the top 15. He is really struggling as we have 30 laps to go here from Atlanta.
Up on Carl Edwards. It might be.
No, Carl Edwards is still quite a ways away from the leaders here, but he still has no chance of getting back on the lead lap unless we have a massive string of cautions here. But I do not think he's going to have any shot at getting up front. Is now Mark Martin looking to take over second place from Ryan Newman. We'll see if he can do it here around the outside, and he does. Newman falling back to third as Martin cleared for second place. We're about halfway through this one, so LT, have you sorted out your technical difficulties yet?
Who, me?
Yes.
I never had technical difficulties. I was just taking a break over here.
Taking a Coca-Cola break.
Yeah, what happened? I found a Coke in there, and they wanted me to do a Coca-Cola skit with them, so I had to do it real quick. Trust me, it wasn't like the Michael Jackson Pepsi commercial where my hair burned off. I'm perfectly okay. I'm back at the commissary booth here, and looks like Jeff Burton is in the lead. One of the dominant cars of the Daytona 125 is kind of driving away here.
Yeah, this is the biggest lead I've seen anyone put on so far this race. I mean, it continues to grow. He's consistently running faster than the rest of the field. So we'll see if anybody can catch Burton. We are just halfway through this race, so why not we go through our picks to win as well as an underdog pick to do well. RC, you're up first.
Alright, so my pick to win today is going to be a little bit of an upset. I think that Kevin Harvick can pull off the win after a terrible start so far to this season. My underdog pick for right now would be between either Joe Nemechek or Travis Kvapil. At this current moment, I'd probably go with Joe Nemechek because of how consistent he's been on a race.
All right, LT, who are your picks?
Well, my normal pick to win would probably be... it's going to be hard, but I'm going to go with Mark Martin. I mean, all season long, he's found the way to be up there or run consistent. So Mark Martin's getting that win today. And an underdog pick, I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski. You know, he has not run great this season, but he's running up here. And as we know, with these races, anything can happen. So Brad Keselowski's my underdog pick to win this race.
All right, well, I'm going to be lame here, or at least more lame than you guys were. My pick to win's Jeff Burton. I don't see how you can say anything else. I mean, unless somebody else turns up the wick or we get a caution flag, this 31 has set sail and is showing no signs of stopping. Granted, he did run a little bit slower than Ryan Newman that last lap, but I think Jeff Burton gets it done today after dominating the second half of this race. My underdog pick for this race, Joe Logano. I don't know if we mentioned him other than that one time he got a little bit loose in the middle of the racetrack, but he is at the tail end of this pack trying to move forward, and while I don't know if he's going to win, I definitely think he can get up there and make some noise in the top 5 later in this race.
Now we can see some of those first pack cars starting to straggle off and work their way back to the second pack, including your pole sitter, David Rudiman.
Yeah, as well as AJ Allmendinger and Dave Blaney, they've started to fall off this lead pack as well. Right now, race times have fallen off about 2.5 seconds really on tires. So this is where I think we need to start thinking about tire strategy. I mean, we're getting close towards the end of the pit window here. We're still about maybe 15 to 20 laps away from pit stops, but I mean, if you know that you aren't planning to go all the way to the end on gas, and seeming as how this race has run green so far for at least 44 laps, why wouldn't you come in and take tires now?
That gets me thinking about something. David Rudiman could be purposefully falling off of these leaders just to save some fuel or tires.
That is the very important point there. We know David Rudiman has a strong car. The fact that he's now falling outside the top 15 is a bit concerning. But yeah, so it would make sense if he started saving gas. I mean, usually we see drivers that are further back in the field try to save or pull some tire strategy to make it to the end of the race, to possibly get an upset victory or at least finish higher than they were running. But if you're the race leader, I don't see any problem with slowing down, saving some gas. So you see Kevin Harvick here in 4th place trying to maybe help Ryan Newman get around Matt Kenseth. As
You know
Burton,
what?
what were we going to say there, LT?
Oh, no. Continue. I'll say it in a minute.
Burton is starting to kind of fall back a little bit to the rest of the field, maybe wondering if he used up his tires a bit more than the rest of the field has, although I don't see how when they've been side by side for second almost the whole race.
Yeah, and what I was going to say a couple of things, but I was going to say Jeff Burton extended a lead, but I noticed that all of a sudden this pack right here started reeling him in. So you got to think that some of the drivers slowed their pace down to try to save tires since it's coming to the end of the race, because a lot of these drivers might be thinking like, okay, well, I can't get in the lead now, but if I save enough tires, maybe at the end I can make some work. Also, we've had a caution every single race of the season, so a lot of these drivers might be thinking like about they don't want to come down pit road or lose their track position, because in this format you got to race your way and get back on the lead lap. So a lot of drivers might be staying out just hoping a caution come out if that's their strategy.
I will make a mention of this. Matt Kenseth is running much faster than Jeff Burton at this point. He ran him down quite a bit. Oh, now he's bringing the rest of the pack. Ryan Newman got a little bit of a handling issue in the middle of the corner. Now here comes Kevin Harvick, one of the picks by one of the commentators to win today's race. And now he is moving up into second, trying to run down his RCR teammate, Jeff Burton.
You were saying Kenseth was driving it really hard in there. I think that if he keeps doing that, then he's going to have to come in and pit way earlier than some of the other guys just due to lack of anything.
Yeah, another thing is with these drivers, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a feeling that they're going to run these tires till the end, pretty much, till the end of the fuel at least. It's going to make you wonder, are these tires going to make it all the way to the end? We're at probably the most abrasive surface that we go to on the schedule. And with how hard these drivers have been running, especially with Kevin Harvick, as he has chased down his teammate in a matter of laps. We'll see what happens here on tires, but man, these two RCR teammates going at it. Kevin Harvick has chopped into about almost a second lead by Jeff Burton. Just like what, lap and a half? Now he is there with 17 laps of racing to go at the stripe. Joe Nemechek is moving into the top 5.
Just wanted to make quick mention, Kevin Conway was back in the second pack, and now he's started to work his way through the stragglers of the first pack to try and get back to the pack. Maybe that means he's a really fast car, and through pit stops, maybe he could gain a few spots coming off pit road.
That is an interesting point, as we haven't really seen Kevin Conway anywhere in the top 15 this whole race. As now, look at this. Matt Kenseth has run Kevin Harvick back down, as Harvick, I don't know what that was. It seemed like he was so much faster than Burton, and then now he's falling back once again.
Maybe everyone's kind of like going half effort, and maybe Harvick decided to just floor it, see what happened, try to put the pressure on Burton so that way he had to step up the pace a little bit, make him use his tires a little bit faster.
Maybe Harvick was just trying to see what his car had. I mean, this is the first time he's been up in the top 5 this race.
Like he might be trying to do it again here. He's getting back to Burton. It's almost. Now he's starting to fall back.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth now falling back. Ryan Newman, I was about to mention that Newman had fallen back, and here he is back in 3rd place. Seems like every time I mention somebody falling back, they start charging back to the front once again. But now Newman has a great run through 1 and 2.
Only exception to that would be David Rudiman.
Yes, David Rudiman. Where has Rudiman ended up?
He's way back there. I think he might be not even top 20. Okay,
16th.
He is.
But he is being hounded as they're taking him 3 wide here. David Rudiman not having a fun time. Well, we're getting close to the end of this race, so why not we do a good old-fashioned crank it up. Well, not much has changed up front. Ryan Newman still battling to hold on to his position, this time over the 5 of Mark Martin, with Brad Keselowski and Joe Nemechek battling along with him. Newman going to hold serve at the moment, and we still have the RCR teammates of Jeff Burton and Kevin Harvick out front.
Mark Martin was almost tandeming with Kevin Harvick and was trying to get him to the front, but then he just fell off and let Newman in. Now Keselowski is going to pass him.
This is the first time Brad Keselowski's been in the top 5 all race, and he is turning up the wick late in this one. Remember, he was one of your underdog picks, I believe.
He was LT's.
Yeah, now look at him going for 2nd, maybe even, underneath of Kevin Harvick.
He is using up his stuff now.
Yeah, that is true. I wonder if, I mean, we know with as close as these drivers are going to end up on gas, I imagine everyone in the field would have had to have assumed at the start of the race they would try to make it to the end if possible. But I wonder if many of these teams, maybe even Brad Keselowski, they've realized I don't have enough to make it, or maybe they do realize they have enough to make it and are just going to send it to the end of the race. Oh, and there's our first pit stop. Kevin Harvick and Matt Kenseth, 2 drivers that we know were running their equipment hard, have come to pit road. Oh, and I believe are the pits closed?
The red lights are on. What's going on?
And the pace car is out. The caution flag is out, and I believe Tony Stewart had something to do with it. Our first caution of the day, we will not go caution-free to the end of this race. And right in the middle of the pit cycle.
I think it actually started just before the pit cycle, but... Oh, some of the cars might have actually gotten on the pit road. I'm not entirely sure.
Tony Stewart, not exactly sure what happened here. Let's look from the rear bumper.
Well, Stewart was trying to come to pit road, and Waltrip just had no idea. Good old Mikey.
I don't even know if Stewart was trying to pit. He just came down on him. Carl Edwards.
Oh. But let's go on board with the 99 of Edwards.
Yeah, that was a very close miss for the 99. I mean, he's already had a bad day. This would have just kind of put the icing on the cake, you could say.
Stewart, the smoke in front of him comes down the track. Oh my goodness. Close
Now
call.
this is what I want to see. Let me take it back to before we had the crash. Let's see. Onboard Kevin Harvick. So let's look for the pit lights. They are not flashing. The next driver, oh, there they are.
Oh.
There they are. So Kevin Harvick did not make it to pit road. However, as well as Matt Kenseth, so very unlucky for both the 29 and 17, two drivers that have been contenders for the win as of late. You scroll up through here at some of the fields. So it looks like drivers like Brian Vickers, Montoya, Biffle, Bain, Kurt Busch, and David Rudiman all were able to make their pit stops before the yellow flag came out. Let's take a look. Is Newman's coming to pit road? Burton is staying out. A bunch of drivers are staying out. Oh, this is going to be interesting. We have Newman and Logano coming to pit road, but look at this. How many drivers is this that have stayed out here? 18. 18 drivers have stayed out on old
Technical
tires.
difficulties are resolved. Did a caution come out?
Yes, Tony Stewart was turned by Michael Waltrip. They were literally racing for last and ruined the pit strategy.
Just about second
well,
alive. Edwards is laps down, so.
Well, the trend stays on. We have had a caution every singular race this season. I didn't see it stop, I can say, unfortunately.
Okay, so I believe that Robbie Gordon is going to be the first car on fresh tires back at 19th. So now here becomes the question.
Fresh tires. Jeez.
Yeah, so here's going to be the question here. We have, well, actually, I believe it's going to be 18th place. 17 drivers are on old tires, including many of the faster cars this race, some of whom probably have saved a bit of their equipment.
Turn the light on?
The lights are still on for the pace car here, so we'll see when we're going to go green. So we're going to go green with around 6 to 7 laps remaining in this race. Probably more like 7. So this is where things are going to get interesting. What do you guys think about the tire strategy?
I'm not sure if I was going first or RJ was, but since he's talking, fresh tires do mean a lot here, but I just don't see those guys blowing through this pack that fast in this amount of lap time. I mean, even though they have fresh tires, still people's going to be a problem, and they can't just drive through them, So I feel like it's definitely going to be interesting to watch them trying to navigate through traffic and get through traffic in time to get up there and compete, but I just don't see them getting up there that quick. But
this is going to be a 6 lap to go restart, LT. Remember Auto Club, how we saw drivers charge up through the field on on newer tires, there, when we didn't even really realize they would be that much faster.
Yeah. The only thing I think, though, is Auto Club is a much wider track. You can go about 6 wide or 7 wide at Auto Club and still make the corner. We're in Atlanta, and the track is a lot more narrow. So, given the fact that they've been forming 3 wide packs, they could risk it and stick it in there and make it 4 wide, but they might just wreck themselves in the end. So, we're going to see what happens here.
I would not. Would you be surprised to see another caution? Because I would definitely not be.
No, I will not. To be honest, I'll be more surprised that there isn't another caution.
We're going to go green this time by. Pace car peels off back to pit road. 6 laps to go. Do the old tires hang on to win? Robbie Gordon has a long way to go if he wants to make up positions. Into the box, up through the gears. Green flag is back out for probably not the final time here at Atlanta. Well, actually, it probably is the last time. If we have a caution, or if we make it to 5 laps to go and have a caution, the next flag ends the race. And
Comes some drivers. Joe Nemechek in second. Travis Kvapil in third. There's Kozlowski, one of one of our underdog picks into
Mark
fourth.
Martin.
Martin on the inside in fifth.
Let's take a look at this. Robbie Gordon is already starting to move up past drivers on older tires. Regan Smith falling back. Jeff Gordon falling back on old tires. Robbie Gordon making it 3 wide, but it doesn't seem like he's going to have anywhere near the speed he needs to gain 17 positions.
I don't think these guys are going to have nearly enough time to be able to get to the front, especially with the traffic in their way.
Yep.
Hopple up to second.
Under 5 laps to go. Quaffle battling with Kislowski and Niemanchek for position as Burton continues to drive away.
Some of these guys might still have to pit, though. We could see green flag pit stops if they miscalculated.
That is true. If some drivers start running out of gas in the middle of the field, what could happen is Burton continuing to drive away. He has a commanding lead with just 4 laps to go.
Conway back up in the top 10. We previously talked about him.
Yeah, Conway up well inside the top 10. As you can see, Robbie Gordon unable to get by the brick wall that is the drivers on old tires.
That's exactly like how it was at Auto Club when he got stuck behind lap traffic trying to catch Kevin Conway.
They battle for second. Look at the lead Burton has put on. Oh, Mark Martin to pit road. Mark Martin has run out of fuel and he could not make it.
That's what I was saying.
Interesting.
Championship implications.
Problems off of turn 4.
McMurray also had to come to pit road. He couldn't make it.
We'll see if there's any pit stops this time by. I mean, I'm guessing with Burton running it as hard as he is, he has to know he can make it, right? He's running this hard. Oh, he's slowing.
Oh, slowing. He's
Burton's slowing big time. Oh, he's out of gas.
Burton's not going to make it to checker flag side by side for the lead. Now Joe Nemechek and Travis Quappel. Quappel leads here, 2 to go.
Heartbreak the dominant car of the day. Jeff Burton, heartbreak at Daytona, heartbreak at Atlanta.
Is Martin coming off pit road? Is Quappel going to have to pit, though?
As we've seen time and time again, the most dominant car most of the times don't win here in the RRL.
Oh, Quappel, big slow.
Oh!
Is he going to be able to come out of pit road? They're blocking him. He's going to stay out. He's going to get back in the gas.
Ambrose, where did Marcus Ambrose come from? He's a lap down. Multiple laps down, in fact.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, so it's between these two.
White flag. Travis Quappel, what a race this has been for him, coming out of nowhere.
Gano also came to pit road as well. Yeah, there's Burton coming out.
Stayed out, but do either of these 2 leaders have enough? If they don't, Bobby Labonte and Dave Blaney waiting in the wings. Oh, they're slowing!
They're slowing!
Is he out?
Oh my God! Oh, they're on the track.
Like he's gonna make it. Travis Quaffle off the corner in a crazy fuel mileage race is gonna win in Atlanta.
Gonna go get some fish tonight, boys.
Joe Nemechek's gonna hang on to finish second. Dave Blaney gets third. I don't know where Bobby Labonte came from to finish fourth. Kyle Busch gets a top 5. I'll pull up the full list of results here so we can take a look through them. Brad Keselowski finishes 6th. Martin Truex Jr. 7th. Kenseth 8th. Gilliland 9th. Hamlin 10th. Bain finishes 11th. Robbie Gordon.
Ryan Newman had to retire.
Let's see. Yeah, Ryan Newman out of the race. Must have had an issue. Probably ran out of gas on the apron. Look at this. 31st for Jeff Burton. Oh, that's a heartbreaker right there. What a win for Travis Quappel. He saved the gas, saved the tires, held them off on a late race restart. But man, the field, they've got to be lucky, specifically Quaffle, that the 31 could not make it to the end.
We have a new points leader.
Martin Truex, who was tied with Trevor Bayne entering the race for the points lead, now has a 16-point gap, but they have quite a big gap back to Nemechek. But then it's not much of a gap between Nemechek and the rest of the field as you have Rudeman, Gordon, Robbie Gordon there, Boyer, Reagan. Many of the drivers who were up front in that race aren't even up front in the points. Specifically, Quaffel's only back in 15th. Yeah, well, Newman is 9th, so I guess we have one of them in the top 10. Well, next week, The RRL Offline Championship is going to head off to Bristol Motor Speedway for the Food City 125. That ought to be an amazing race there at Bristol. This has been the RRL's broadcast of the Rivals Racing League Offline Championship from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see you next time.